We're here with my buddy George Paredes. He's 43 years old, Army vet of 8 years. Was in worked for the United States Post Office for 7 years. Joined SubTo about a year and a half ago, and then he's been taking steps to go towards his dream. And that's why I have him on here today. So I'm gonna bring him in here, and we're gonna get an interview going with him. How's it going, George?
Going good, my man. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. How you been?
Good, my man. Just taking it day by day and stride by stride, one foot in front of the other, and trying not to overthink things.
Cool, cool. So I'm thank you for doing this interview with me. I told you that the topic was going to be 5 year goals. What am I doing to make it happen? So we're gonna hit that today and see what you got to say, man. I really, you've been one I've been following since I've joined Sub2. You and Michael Hayes, you've been the ones that stick out. But I've known Michael Hayes for a while, but you stuck out. So I was like, I got to get to know George. So I'm glad you're on here. Thank you for being here, man.
I appreciate you, my man, and appreciate you. I remember that conversation we had at Messenger, and kind of like, man, why are you talking to me, bro? You got Mike Hayes, man. You're childhood friends with him. He's killing it. And I thought you were good to go. But yeah, appreciate you reaching out to me as well, my man.
No problem, man. So I'm going to start with the questions, man.
All right.
Can you share with us what are your current 5 year goals and and why they're important to you?
Well, that was a good question. Time when I first saw it, I was like, wow, 5 years. I'm thinking about what am I going to do this year? But I like the overall, like kind of seeing where I would be in 5 years. And I guess in short term is being able to knock out, 2 to 3 wholesale deals a month. And how will I do that? Just eventually learning each step that it takes to be in a wholesale business, like the lead generation, then it's the nurturing of the leads, then eventually closing it, taking the title, and having all those people in place to where just being able to knock out those deals to where it can free me up to possibly doing what you're doing, doing this podcast type of venture on the side while my business is running, and eventually acquiring properties with either SubTo or with cash. And then one of my other passions within those 5 years, Todd, would be since I don't have kids, man, I have we call it heavy heart, with the phrase I'm lost for words for animals. Because as kids, eventually we get kicked out and we got to figure crap out. But as animals, they have no choice. They get kicked out. They can't go to work. They can't apply a job at a certain place. So they end up in the streets, ran over, to where hopefully what we're doing, eventually acquiring a big piece of land and learning how to do the nonprofit avenue of being able to supply somewhere they can stay at. And if they want to be what do you call it, adopted, have that process going on.
Cool. That sounds like a plan. So it sounds like you got some things going on.
Right.
All right. So what steps have you taken so far to start the progression towards your 5 year goals?
I guess like say establishing that foundation, just like when you build a house, it's kind of getting all the kinks and quirks out of my head of overthinking sometimes when we first start this business, to where it's getting out of that, like Pace says, that 9 to 5 mentality. We're like, what do I do? What I do? And you're expecting somebody to tell you what to do. And sometimes now you gotta go get it. You're the entrepreneur. This is your business. You run it how you want to do it. And it took me a while to figure that out, but having the pleasure of being part of different teams, Todd, and kind of seeing, behind the current, like, oh crap, they don't have it as organized as I thought. But taking the good with the bad and creating my own thing, to where like I said, right now I got pretty good people around me that are, not only like I like to use a phrase, Todd, where it's like you always want to be with somebody who knows more than you, who knows just as much, and who knows less. So you're always learning, you're always keeping up, and you're always teaching somebody. And
that sounds good. So you said we were talking a little earlier, and this is off question, but you said it took a little while for you to get your first deal, and you said probably because you were overthinking things. So how did you overcome that?
Man, that's a good question, Todd. It was and it is off topic. It was because of the leap of faith I took into entrepreneurship and real estate investing. I actually it got me closer to the big man upstairs, to where I was struggling because I was throwing all my money in the business, but I realized it's not about the money. It's about, working together, working with other people that are like-minded and being around the right people basically, and knowing that I can't control everything, and what I can't control, I put in his hands.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. All right, I'm gonna get back to the question. All right, so how do you prioritize your actions and stay focused on tasks that will bring you closer to achieving your goals?
Well, I try to practice the whole writing the goals down, Todd, whether it be on on paper. Then as a real estate investor, we got a little whiteboards. So I have my little like I have you on the board. I got stretching and meditating, walking dog, 1 hour in the CRM, 1 hour cold calling, 1 hour doing this, to where it's on the paper and it's also on here, and implementing the whole KPI thing, key point indicators, to where every time I call somebody, boom, hash it, hash it, and keeping accountability, and slowly working on that, and then using my Google Calendar to keep me in place too. To where what Pace taught us with the whole Calendly thing, and having that
Mhm.
introduction to where, oh crap, what I got to do now? Oh, I got to talk to Todd in 30 minutes. Let me get through these calls and let me get ready for this, and keeping busy, basically, not instead of just thinking like, oh, what am I going to do? And
Yeah,
like keeping on track, basically.
that's badass. Yeah, I've been having a little problem with the scheduling. I'll forget stuff, even though it's in the calendar. Oh man, I forgot one the other day. I was in the middle of an interview and forgot I had something else to do. I was like, oh man,
Wow.
so yeah, I'm getting better at that, but there's still a lot of work there. So
Right.
okay, man, have you encountered any challenges or obstacles while working towards your 5 year goals?
I would say still that same thing. Todd, that mindset, and switching over from that scarcity mindset to that abundance mindset, and kind of getting over, basically getting the ego, getting it's not about me, it's more about we. How what can I contribute to everybody? I may be going through problems, but somebody else may be going through problems. Or the way my parents raised me is learning how to do the power of forgiveness.
Okay,
Not forgiving them for what they did to you, but forgiving them for having that power over you, to where at the end of the day, they raised us the best way they could with the best that they had. And at a certain age, you got to realize, okay, now this is my life now, but I appreciate what you gave to me, but I have to basically, run the reins, per se.
all right. So how many teams have you been on? You said you mentioned a couple teams, so and you've learned
Yeah.
from each one. So how many teams have you been on?
I actually been part of, I would say, three.
Three.
Yeah, yeah,
All
they
right.
were they're good experiences, and I appreciate everything, and that's having like that perspective. Where some of them where I thought they were, no, but realizing, Todd, in this business, everybody's in different chapters in their career, or in this venture, to where it's just appreciating, getting the good, getting the bad, and just like I say, gobbling it up and structuring your own type of business.
All right. All right. So are there any specific skills or knowledge areas you're actively working on developing and enhancing your chances of achieving your long-term goals?
I would say just honestly, even though I say it's easy, but it is hard. It's you like I said, making it less about you, and as a real estate investors, it's really about actively listening, talking less and listening more, asking questions and being that little kid. Why, daddy? Why? Why do you want to sell? Why don't you put it on the market? Why don't you do this? And actually sound interested, and learning that people do business with people who they like, and understanding that I'm not going to kill this in one call. It takes a couple, just like dating. That woman or that man's not going to marry you on their first date. Is getting to know them, but also knowing that the secret's in the follow up.
Right.
Secret is in the follow up. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're right, keeping that conversation going. It's not going to happen in the first one. It's usually, you got to build trust. So I'm having to learn that too. I'm like, I want instant gratification. I have a problem with instant gratification. I want it right now, but it does never, it does never pan out like that.
Right. But you
So,
know what? I like that you bring that up, and this might be off a topic, but I like the phrase of that stone or that block, Todd, where you're hitting it, boom, boom, and say it doesn't smash until the thousand slam, the thousand time, whoosh. Does that
right,
mean did it crash out? Did it need 1,000? Who knows? But all those pounds were necessary for it to break. So it's
right.
like you can't be like, oh man, I did this good. Like, no, just keep going, Just like when you get that first wholesale check, like, yeah, funny did it. It's like, all right,
Right.
Mofo. Keep going.
I'm still looking for that one. I'm still looking for that one. So
Yeah.
it's coming. It's coming. I ain't worried
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
All right.
Hopefully I can help you get that one.
Right. Yeah. Maybe you will. Maybe we can JV on it. Huh?
Boom. Yes, sir.
All right. Here's going to be the last question. We're at 10 minutes, a little over 10 minutes right now. So I'm going to ask you the last one. Is how do you maintain a healthy work life balance while pursuing your ambitious 5 year goals? Any tips and advice for the listeners?
I guess I had a little cheat code with that, Todd, because my whole life I always was like in the gym, but my diet sucked. My diet sucked. It wasn't until maybe 5 years before I left the post office I did intermittent fasting, to where I do it religiously now. Am I eating strictly? No, but I am consistently like trying to drink water all day and eating once a day and being busy to where, I'm calling on the phone, I'm working on my skills and getting better. And of course, writing it down. Like I have my little push-ups, 30 times 5, to where
All
I'll
right.
make a couple calls, boom, boom, 30, then go do some pull-ups, then get back on the phone, 30, and same thing to where at the end of the day, I've done, I say like 200 and maybe like 150 pull-ups, to where you're not doing them all at once. Because if you do them all at once, you're probably doing them a half-ass. Because after
Mm-hmm.
10, you're like, instead just taking your time and doing some quality ones, and then just taking your time throughout the day.
Cool. Cool. All right, man. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me today, man. And George, I look forward to doing some deals with you, JVing with you here in the future. Something comes along, and I appreciate you helping me out already on doing some comping. So I'll probably hit you up again on
Bro,
that. I don't have any tools for
anytime.
comping. Cool, man.
Anytime, my brother. That's what the beauty of this community is. Not having to do everything yourself, but reaching out and being vulnerable enough, say, hey, I need your help. And the right people attract to you. Your vibe attracts your tribe.
Right, right. So I want to have you on here again, more talking more about SubTo, but we're gonna do that down the line after I get things situated and get the Paces homework done.
There you go. Me too. Me too. I gotta catch up on that too myself, my man.
Right, right. Well, if you need any help, you let me know. But I'm gonna stop the recording now, and
All right.
you're gonna put some music on there,
Wine and dining.
end it out.
Hello,
George, thank
lady.
you very much, man. And that's it. Have a good night, man.
You too, my man.